Hi everyone, I'm Gary Summers and welcome to my audio edition of Mind, Body, Soul. I'm here with a good friend of mine, Elaine Dunphy. Welcome, Elaine.
Hi, thanks for inviting me here. This is awesome.
So Elaine, you're here to talk about NIA. Can you just give our listeners an idea of exactly what NIA is?
Sure, I can. So NIA is a movement practice that started about 35 years ago in the States by Debbie Rosas. And I say it's the best thing since sliced bread. So it's a movement practice that I have been teaching now for about 4 years. I think they've got something like 4,500 teachers in 41 countries already. So, and I'm the only licensed NIA teacher in Newfoundland.
Wow. So where did it originate?
In the States, like I said, and Debbie Rosas started it. And when COVID hit, she took her practice online and she has been coaching us through this whole strange pandemic. So it actually gave us an opportunity to spread more about what NIA is. As people were in lockdown, I think people were reaching out more to find out about NIA and find out the benefits of it.
Sure, great. So you refer to it as your movement medicine. What do you mean by that?
It sounds maybe a little odd, but everybody needs to move. And so I think for me, when you take your own medicine, NIA is what does that for me. So it's a dance arts, healing arts, martial arts, all mixed into this delicious type movement done to music.
Wow.
So it's good medicine.
You're the Bruce Lee of dance.
I am. Sorry, Bruce Lee.
So tell us about the 52 moves.
Sure. So the 52 moves make up the NIA practice or the philosophy, and it basically breaks your body down into your base moves, your core moves, and your upper extremities. And so without giving everything away online, people have to come try my class. But
Sure.
it's 52 movements that are gentle on the body, and it can really be done by anybody.
So when you say anybody, from youngest to oldest.
Yeah. My youngest student, I think, was about 2.5, and that was a little girl, and she had her mom and her grandmother with her. So it was 3 generations dancing, so that was cool. And my oldest student was 103.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about some stories of how NIA has helped someone in your class to find joy?
How much time do we have, Gary?
Give me just one that comes to mind. Because I know you've got dozens, hundreds.
I do,
probably.
and I think sometimes the biggest ones that hit me are women that, as an example, they're grieving. You know, I have one student in particular lost her husband unexpectedly, and I mean, we've all dealt with grief, and you know the physical feeling of the weight on your shoulders. And
Absolutely.
So she would come to my class and her shoulders are, forward. She can't take a deep breath in. And so as she progressed through my classes, I could see a difference that, shoulders were backing down, a little bit more breath into her body. And by the end, playing with my parachute. And so I felt that having that gift of NIA and the movement actually helped her. You never get over grieving, you don't, but it actually helped her.
Do you actually play with a parachute at the? Because when I started many years ago, I was a phys ed teacher.
Yeah.
And Battle Creek had a phys ed program back in the 70s, and we used a parachute, and the kids absolutely loved it. Actually, I thought it was a great bit of fun using it as well. So,
yeah.
Talk to me about your welderlies. You call them welderlies.
I call them welderlies, and it's not my word, but it just sticks. And now they actually refer to themselves as welderlies. It's the philosophy that as we age, we want to be well. So the welderly. It replaced my word of senior citizens, and
sounds a lot better.
Yeah, and like that we're all trying for the highest number, and we want to age gracefully, and so welderlies.
As we get older, injuries, hip replacements, injuries, falls. What about someone recovering from an injury? How does NIA fit into that that type of a situation?
NIA is the perfect solution for that. I actually have 2 students in my Welderly's group. One has a new knee and one has a new hip. So I refer to them as my bionic students. But the pleasure that I get from seeing them being able to move their body gently to music, I mean, you know how that would feel. One student, the lady who had her hip replaced, she was having trouble walking and moving. She would do my class seated in a chair, and now she's standing using this new bionic hip, and you just got to get out of her way because she's having such fun.
Excellent. You offer it to children as well.
Mm-hmm.
How does that work? Because obviously, you know, as with kids, you want them out moving. You don't want them behind the screens. You don't want them on the iPads. You want them doing something that's going to help their physical fitness.
Exactly.
So how does that work?
Well, so I was lucky enough to be asked to join the creative learning group in Mount Pearl. And of course, unfortunately, now we're not doing it because of COVID. But these kids are the kinder starts, so they're like 3.5 to 4 years old. And I would take my singing bowl in there and I would have a chat with them about mindfulness and hands on their heart and, you know me, talking about joy. So we would start in a circle and we would just gently start moving our 13 main joints in our body, and we'd finish the class after using the parachute and going through all these different movements, and I'd use my disco light, and then we talk about mindfulness again, and I would get them to pretend that they could reach up on the ceiling with these laser lights to make a circle with their foot or make a circle with their hand.
Okay.
So they would skip back to their classroom, and of course I'd skip back to my car because their kids are adorable.
Yeah, fabulous.
And I'm a big kid. So.
Yeah, well, you know, we all have that child inside of us, don't we?
Yep.
How did you cope with things during the lockdown? You talked about doing Facebook Live events.
I did, yeah. So I was blessed with the ability to pop online, and I moved my classes online rather quickly. And I started with 6 in a group, and that group now topped off, I think it's got 252 people in it.
Wow.
So the reach that COVID gave me, you know, there has to be a silver lining in things.
Absolutely.
And we're going to remember COVID for a long time. But it let me share my passion for NIA. Like I had people jump on my class from Ontario.
Wow.
So it's kind of pretty cool.
That's the beauty of the internet, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Your buzzword is joy.
It is.
And you bring around that wooden, you've got it with you, do you?
I do.
And you lay it up and it just has 3 little letters in it, it's joy. So talk to me about the joy that NIA brings, not only to you teaching it, I guess, but to the people in your class, and of course how you see people transform from the time they start to the time they get into this movement.
Well, joy, I'm a joy seeker and joy spotter, all those things with joy. My husband says, okay, I guess there's never too much joy for you. But I think that as we age, I have seen a lot of my Welderlies, it's like they have this expectation that, oh, I'm aging now, and the fun part, I guess that's it for fun. And oh, I remember the days it used to be fun. So I make it my intention to bring joy and fun and playfulness into, it's a workout, even though they don't know they're doing a workout. And you can see it on people when the class is finished, like it's like giving people permission to have fun. We shouldn't have to do that, but
when I talk to people, I always ask them the question, would you rather be happy or would you rather be sad? Mm-hmm. And no one has ever said to me, I'd rather be sad. So my comment to people is, stop doing the things that make you sad and start doing the things that bring you joy.
Yeah.
And, as we all age, as we all do, which is a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bringing that joy to people's lives is really good. Your classes include, you talked at the beginning of uplifting music. What do you say to people who, there's too much choreography, it's going to be too hard to learn it, it's like aerobics, and, I have 2 left feet, and I look stupid.
Well, I say the NIA is the perfect class for you if you've got 2 left feet, but I think the huge difference with NIA is movement. So people get intimidated when you say it's a dance class.
Right.
It's a movement class, right?
You say there's NIA instructors, and you're the only one trained here. And you mentioned about karate and stuff like that. You have a belt system in NIA?
We do. So
Similar to?
It is similar to the martial arts. And so you have to be a certified white belt instructor in order to be able to teach.
That's
so
the lowest level?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did that in 2016 in Ontario after only ever doing 2 classes of NIA here. There was a visiting teacher. So I said to my husband, so I'm going to Ontario to do my white belt. And all these beautiful women are sitting around a circle and they're all sharing their heartfelt stories about, oh, I've been doing NIA for 10 years and it's time to teach. And I'm like, well, this is my third class ever. But I just knew that it was like this calling to share this beautiful movement practice. And so I have continued on. I just did my blue belt in 2018. And then with COVID, I actually just finished my Moving to Heal certification. So being in lockdown has been a good thing.
Yes, absolutely. It's how you make it, isn't it?
Yeah.
What are your plans for classes moving forward? I guess, are you going to continue to do online? Is there any? I know the gyms are starting to open up now. Have you gone back to doing live classes now, in-person classes?
The only thing that I have done is moved to a beautiful garden in Admiralty House. We do pop-ups there. So I just did my first one last Thursday. Not ready to go back into a place like the Seniors Independence in Mount Pearl hasn't reopened, and they may not in September. Sure. So I still see a need for an online class, and people like the convenience of it because, you know, there's a lot of times, say on a Wednesday night class for Candlelight NIA, we'll do some meditation, we'll be totally in the zone and relaxed, and then you got to go home. Especially in January, we all know it's not very pleasant.
Yeah.
So when you can do that in the comfort of your own home and you finish your class, you can be in your PJs already.
Right. Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
So there's definitely a need for that. People who have mobility issues, they can hop on a Facebook Live and get an hour's NIA movement. So
you had to postpone a large NIA retreat that was planned in early July of this year at the Doctor's Inn and Spa. I guess you were disappointed with that. Are you going to look at maybe doing something like that again, possibly next summer, or
absolutely
when we get past onto level 1, I guess?
Exactly. Yeah, when we can clearly travel. But that was 35 women that were coming from all over, and they were so disappointed that they can't get to Newfoundland. They've held their deposits for next year. So hopefully
that's good.
Yeah.
I know we're going to finish off with a little meditation for people to lead us out of this. But if you had one piece of advice about joy, or about what listeners can take away today to make their life better, what would you say to people about NIA and joy? To leave with people, that would be a little nugget of advice.
I think the little nugget that I would plant would be, through movement we find health, you know? So find that piece of movement, whatever it is, whether it's NIA, whatever it is, we have to move. So I think that would be my little nugget. Move your body. You know, we get one body. So if we don't take care of it, where are we going to live? And I'm stealing that from my brother. I think he put it up in a plaque when he was 12. And I used to think it was weird, but it makes the most sense ever.
We have one shot.
Yep.
You know, and we want to make it the best shot that we possibly can. And certainly NIA seems to have a place for people in that. Elaine, would you like to? And I know as you're listening to this, Elaine's picture is up and all her contact information is on the screen there. So please, if you want to find more joy in your life, Elaine Dunphy and NIA on the Rock is certainly a great place to start. So Elaine, as we move in and play some soft music, would you like to just lead us out of this interview for a couple of minutes of some deep meditation show?
Absolutely.
Maybe everybody find a nice quiet place, find somewhere to sit or wherever you do. So you just go ahead and lead us out of this.
Perfect. And so for me, as we would step into a class, we step out of a NIA class. So I just thought I'd use this as an opportunity for a quick little meditation, get in touch with your breathing, and then come look me up on NIA on the Rock and take a class with me. So take a moment, and as you inhale deeply, feel your ribs expanding to the sides of the room, gently touching the walls. At the same time, experience and visualize the lengthening of your spine as if it were an elegant tree expanding high into the sky. As you breathe, let your breath trigger subtle movements along your spine and in your pelvis. Respond with the different parts of your body, your spine, your pelvis, your chest, and head, and feel the breath moving through you. As you inhale and exhale, extend the length of your exhale as if it were the last note of a song. Notice how the inhale happens naturally, without effort. Increase the length of the exhale by making sounds or tones. And feel the stretch from inside the core of your body, and feel your abdominal muscles working as you exhale for this extended period of time. Energetically ride on the sounds and musical tones. Breathe and sense the air inside you like hands massaging your internal organs and bones. Breathe in as if you were smelling your favorite fragrance, and allow that scent to filter slowly in you. And as we finish, exhale and let go of any energy and emotions that keep you from being fully present, alive, and open to this moment. Feel the spaces between joints opening, making more room to move and express yourself. So thank you.
Thank you, Elaine. It's been wonderful as well, and good luck with NIA and the Rock and your NIA movement classes.
Well, thank you very much, and good luck with your mind, body, soul.